Yes, I'm in the pub again, but been a bit of a train wreck of a morning stroke early afternoon. I thought I'd have the simplest job of the lot. My medications were getting a bit low, so I was going to go into the pharmacy in Phuket town to get some more. And I got all dressed up, got ready to get on the bike, and set my phone to the Maps app, which is pretty good. But it had somehow or other, even though it was in my favourites, it had forgotten the location of the pharmacy. And it had obviously forgotten its name as well. And I looked through my medical records and I had no record of that pharmacy at all. Now, I went on Google and looked up, pharmacies, Phuket town, and Santi cropped up, Santi Pharmacy, and I thought, oh, that rings a bell, and it looked a bit like it. So I decided to go there. So I went there, and when I got there, there was nothing. It said, "You have arrived."
This was the location shown on the Google entry for that pharmacy, and this is the location that my GPS took me to, but there was nothing there.
Look at nothing. So I walked around a bit, and I went into a family mart and talked to the girls behind the counter there, and they looked up something else and it gave a slightly different location, but all it did was just drive me around the block again, and I came back to the same nothingness. So I went back, and in desperation I talked to my friend Char. He was the one that took me there originally. I said, "Look, I know this is a pain in the ass, but can you just drive me there so I can refill my meds and get the address and punch it back into my favourites?" So after about an hour or so's wait for him to finish all his stuff, we set off, and we arrived, and I was right with Santi, but Santi Healthcare. So it's whether this place that I was directed to, Santi Pharmacy, was their previous location, but it's still showing on Google. That's probably the thing, and it just doesn't exist anymore, So I thought, well, at least I can replenish my meds. So I got the details of the pharmacy, and now it's in my phone. But when I pulled my meds out of my bag, I only had one of them. The other one was missing. So I thought, oh shit. So anyway, here's another disaster in the making. So I went back home, and I couldn't find the other meds anywhere. So I've obviously lost them. So the only record I've got, well, I haven't got any record. So I've got to go back to the hospital to check my hospital records and try to get a repeat prescription for the missing one. Can this possibly get any worse today? But I decided to go back to where I parked my bike to pick up my friend, and I saw the missing medication bag on the road. It had been there for about maybe 2.5 hours. So a miracle. So I put it in the bike and loaded in the new destination on my GPS, and it took me right there, and now I've got both meds. So now I'm in the pub having a fucking beer. I mean, it's just one of those times when you've got a simple thing to do and the whole bloody world goes wrong. And really, I'm not mentally equipped to deal with this shit anymore, but I dealt with it, and we're okay right now. So I'm in Phuket. So I'm in Patong Beach right now. So, assuming I don't have a mega accident on the way home, knock on wood. I'm knocking on wood with my little finger. I can get through the rest of the day okay. A little report there. Cheers. Bye bye.